Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Swolemates podcast with Joe.
And Alyssa.
And we have some very special guests today. Introduce you guys.
I'm Shelby.
And I'm Josue Gonzalez.
And wow, episode 6. You guys, first guest. How's it feel to be a first guest?
It was incredible. It's my first podcast. Well, both of our first podcasts too. So
Yeah, very
it's fun.
exciting to just
Ready to get chatting.
to just have a place to just have your voice,
Yeah.
Very
We
excited.
wanted, for this first guest appearance, we definitely wanted to have a couple so we could have like a secondary Swolmate. So
Yeah.
if you guys didn't catch the vibe, these guys definitely in a relationship
I mean, if you
here.
can't tell by her delts.
Who's mogging who?
Oh shit! He was just talking about how he needed a pump.
I know.
I never
This
need a
shirt's
pump.
not
5-minute intermission. Get some push-ups in.
right. We're gonna bring it back. Cut.
Not sponsored by Truly, but sponsored by Anaka.
Yeah.
Code
One
Swolemates.
on.
Since we always forget to plug it at the end.
I know. I forget.
But okay, so obviously, I want you guys to introduce yourself, like kind of like what you do, like really briefly. What you do, and then we'll go into how you guys met. Because I mean, I don't think we don't even know,
We don't know
right?
the story either.
Yeah.
It's gonna be juicy.
Well, I'm an online fitness coach primarily. That's what I like. I feel like some people are like more like influencers than coaches. Like they might have have some clients
Yeah.
and whatnot,
Yeah.
but the more influencers are more. I'm more of an online fitness coach, also an influencer as well. And I'm a competitor, compete in bikini, the NPC. Yeah, that's what I do. I work with just women, so I created an all women's team, and it's really freaking awesome. And I love my job.
Badass.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just
Queen.
living it.
Yeah, and we have pretty similar stories. Like I'm also an online coach, online fitness instructor, and then content creator, you could say. But mainly main source of income is coaching. So yeah, that's pretty much all I do. Coach guys. I just started coaching recently, like in August. But I'm really liking it. But so far, this is pretty much all I do. I want to dabble into more of YouTube and like actual documenting like my progress and just daily vlogs and just helping people out, helping guys out. But yeah. that's what I
And
do so
you're
far.
you are a pro, right?
Yes,
for
I am a
bodybuilding.
natural pro for MuscleMania. So
Yeah.
as you guys don't know, I'm also a men's physique competitor, which right now I might think of switching into a classic just because I want to grow my legs. Like just like as a goal in life, I want to have bigger legs. But yeah, I am a natural pro. So only done 2 shows. Would you say something about that?
She's talking shit already.
Dude. But she has the right, like her legs, like I can't really like. That's why I'm doing the classic.
Fun fact, and I don't know if this is still true, but my glutes are actually bigger than Alyssa's. We measured
I
them.
don't think so.
2 inches.
Wow.
I mean, you can't argue
You
with
measured
facts.
when I was
Yeah.
on prep, okay? What do you expect?
Yeah.
No,
that's unfair.
I
okay.
know.
No. We measured when we went back home. That was August.
Well,
So like you weren't that deep into prep, but like just admit that they're bigger.
No. He has implants, guys.
I
I'm so
do
sorry
not
to tell
have
you.
You got a
implants.
BBL.
They
Everyone
look
wants
like
to know
implants.
why
That's how
it's a
fucking
shelf.
big they
It's 'cause
are.
it's implants. They just sit at the top.
We need to do that. We need to measure. No, I'm kidding. I think we know.
if you want to lose.
She's got me beat on calves, so
Yeah.
it's a sore
Don't come
subject.
at me.
You
I
know
don't
what
even
I
work out
noticed?
calves.
What I noticed, because like I used to see her when she was on call, she would walk around like the house. You're in a call, you're walking around, she's on her tippy toes. Like, just
Oh
on
my
her
God.
tippy
Look at my
toes.
tiptoes.
And I'm like, like,
That's the
this is-
secret.
Yeah. I was like, you do that a lot? She's like, oh yeah, I've always done that. And I'm like, no shit, you have
My
these
calves are
calves.
massive.
Like you're always just engaging them. That makes so much sense. So I mean, I wanted to get into the habit, but no, I'm not walking around my tippy toes now.
That's the calf hack.
Yeah.
Always walking your tippy toes.
Just walk on your tippy toes, bro.
One time, I remember growing up. One time, my sister
my
was
God.
like, "Yeah, I want to just like, I want to get my legs bigger." So she was like, "I'm just gonna do lunges whenever I walk around the house."
Instead of actually walking.
Yeah, she couldn't walk the next day. Yeah, that was
Too much stimulus.
the logic in that was.
Could you imagine going through Walmart, like just instead of
Doing
walking,
lunges?
doing lunges with your cart?
I guarantee you, someone's done it and it's on TikTok.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah,
100%.
probably.
So, okay, I want to hear about how you guys met.
Okay.
Juicy details.
Okay. Well, I mean, I met her because I started coming down to Alpha League. Originally, I was from the Woodlands. That's where I grew up when I moved to the United States.
Okay.
I'm just gonna give a little background. I'm from Mexico, so I moved to the United States, moved to the Woodlands, and then that's when I started getting into fitness and all this. And I heard about Alpha League, right? So now I was like, it's an hour away. I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna start going. So I started going last summer, and I loved it. I was starting to do like online coaching and all that. So and then just meeting people through there, I saw her once, and like I was like, damn, like holy shit. She was about to. You had just competed or were about to compete,
Yeah.
so she was like.
When was
healed
this?
In June.
Was this before Branch
Yeah.
Warren? Is
No,
that the
this
show?
this is shortly after Branch Warren.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because Branch Warren was at the end of June. My birthday is July 15th, so it was before my birthday.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like right after I competed.
So does that mean you're a Leo too?
And I'm a Cancer.
Oh, I don't know how these
He
things work.
doesn't know
Me
how it
neither.
works.
I'm not.
All I know is I'm a Leo, and then anytime I do something, Alyssa's like, oh, Leo.
Leo.
Yeah, I'm a Taurus, and I don't know what it means or. Like I don't know. Like I just
that's
haven't
why.
done the
It's
research.
Taurus.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm a
that's
Taurus.
why.
Yeah, that's probably why, right? But yeah, so I had seen her, and at first like that was it. I don't think she even like noticed me when I like first seen her, and then like later as I was just networking, meeting new people, I was like, I think I saw your Instagram, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the girl I saw. And like that was it. Like that's how I met her. One time, she was stretching or she was rolling out or something,
Oh,
and I
wow.
was
He's
like,
the creeper in the back.
Yeah, for real.
she was
Mom.
she was rolling out. She had just finished her workout, and I was like right there, and I was like, dude, like she's right there. Like if you're gonna talk to her, like do it right now. Like
Yeah.
do you want to say something? So I was like, oh hey, like I see you on Instagram, this and that. Oh, and we just like said hi, and I like just make sure like I gave her my Instagram, so like she would just like like just get to know me, like. But at first I didn't like have like the intent of like okay like. I just didn't have any expectations. I was like, I'm doing real good. Like, I don't want to have like a strict plan. Worst things worse, I make a good friend. You know what I'm saying? And if good things happen, then I'll have a girlfriend. So at first I was just kind of like, this girl's really attractive. I think she's cool. Like, I'm just gonna know her, like get to know her. And like that was my side of it.
Shelby's like, no.
Yeah.
You don't get to
And
know
then
me.
like from there, so like that happened, and then like I was doing my thing, she was doing her thing, and I would just like swipe up on her stories. I'm like,
So yeah, he would
say
do
your
that.
side. And
Yeah, say your side. Let's hear your
He
side.
would do that all the time, and for a minute, I was like kind of like hard to get. I was like, I want to see how hard he's gonna like get in these DMs. Like, how in there is he willing to go? And so eventually, I kind of gave up. I was like, not like just liking it, or sending oh thanks or something like that. And then
no,
eventually, I
you
was
would
like,
reply, but it would be like short ended.
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
thank
saying.
you, and I'm
yeah,
like, all right, like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was just,
Persistence, though.
Right.
yeah, because I was
Yeah.
like, fuck it, like, I don't know, and then like. Yeah, you were, because at first I was like, and then I remember I brought it up later. I was like, why did you like blow me off at first? And she was like, I thought you were like a player or something. I'm like,
yeah.
"Dude."
So I was like, number one thought was like a player. I was like, I just want to see, make sure
What
you
my
know what you want
intentions
here.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, yeah, because it's like, just messing around. It's not fun, not good for anybody. It doesn't feel good in like your heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm like a relationship type of guy, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like better to build a connection with somebody, and like you can like build together instead of just seeking momentarily pleasure over and over and over and over again. So it's like, that was like a realization I like came to myself like younger, because I was like, you can either, because I've seen guys at the club like fucking 40, 50. You're like, what are you still doing here? Like, what are you doing, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? You're just like, so I thought I was like, dude, like, so some guys just like never get out of that, just like always, like trying to hook up with a bunch of different girls. And I was like, dude, you can either do that or build something with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
10 pennies or one dime.
Well, now, so you thought he was a player. Now, what gave you that impression of him?
To be completely like stereotype honest, the look, like
Really?
the fade with the chain and the fits
Six
and
pack.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like it was just like, and you know what,
So you just judged
we're in the
about
fitness industry.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I'm just
we
like,
can kind of like point out.
right, yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
like, we'll see. I don't know, whatever. And that's why I was kind of just like waiting to like dabble in a little bit. But then after, you tried so much, and like the actual things that he would say wasn't like a guy swiping up with like, oh my, you're so fucking hot, or
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause-
Snapchat, what's your Snapchat?
Oh
Just
my god, Snapchat. Who even uses Snapchat?
This is so 2015. Like,
Literally.
stop asking me for my Snapchat. I do not have it anymore.
Yeah, I only do like my friends. I would say like just my close friends that I still talk to. For,
Yeah.
like, I don't even know, but
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason why I have Snapchat. Like
Yeah.
just those group chats that you made, and you just have like random people that were you're cool with, and it's just like that's the only reason to have Snapchat. I think. I don't
The
know.
only thing I have on my Snapchat is just memories.
Yeah,
Like just
memories.
Snapchat
Yeah, I
memories.
don't wanna
Like
let go.
a lot with
Yeah.
my nephews and things like that, and like I don't ever use it.
Yeah.
And like Yeah.
Yeah, it's gold for like transformation posts because I'm like,
Yeah.
I just take so many gym
I used to.
Literally.
On
I gotta go to my
Snapchat.
Snapchat. Fast.
Let me pull up in the oldest photo I have. Damn, look at this transformation.
But
But then, so
Just-
how we actually like, because that was just like how we met, and then I kept telling her, hey, like let's catch a workout, because I'm like, if I wanted to like do anything or get to know somebody, you work out with
gym
them.
bro to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
let's catch
Yeah.
a workout.
Yeah, it's kind of like a date for like, but I
Really
didn't look at it
is.
as a
Yeah.
date though. I'm like not looking at it like with the intentions, but it's like the same purpose. Like you get to know a
Hang
person.
out and talk.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we were just chatting. We worked out one day, and then the next day I was like on Instagram live, and you went on there and you were like, hey, I'm going to take this gymnastics class. And then I was like, oh, like, yeah, because she did tumbling or cheerleading, and then I did gymnastics growing up, like pretty much since I was 3 to like 16.
Yeah.
So like, sorry, this is truly over here. Yeah, so she was like, I'm gonna do this gymnastics class, and I was like on live, and then I'd like later after the live, I like just like hit her up like, yo, like what time? Like I'm down. I want to come to this fucking class. And then that's pretty much like the first time we like hung out like outside of seeing her from Alpha League. So yeah, we went to this little gymnastics class. It was pretty fun. She did like you remember did a backflip with a trampoline, and like I like punched her in the face because she like bailed. She bailed, so I'm ready to spot her, but she bailed. So like I spotted her nothing, and then like.
On the first
like,
date,
yeah.
just fucking
Punch her in the
Oh,
face.
no, red
Nah, like,
flag.
yeah,
Great
so I was like, oh
impression,
my
yeah.
god, like, are you okay?
She's like, now I can't ghost him because like, it'd be a real.
so like
dick
when
move.
that happened, what was like going on in your head? Like, were you freaking out? We're like, damn, I just
mean,
fucked up this
Did I
date.
just fuck up?
I didn't think like I fucked it up. I'm like, it happens. Like when you're there, you're gonna fucking fall. Like if anybody's done tumbling, like you do something so many times and you fall until you land it. Like that's just part of doing the flips. So like, it was on a trampoline, so it wasn't like too bad. So I was like, okay, like she'll be fine. Like it was just funny. Like, you know, at the time I was like,
She'll
holy
be fine.
shit. Yeah. But
Black
I
guy.
remember when we showed up there, like people would just be like, oh, you guys are a couple? Like they would just assume
Yeah.
it. And it was
Yeah.
like literally
Oh,
the first time, and I'm
and-
like, I remember like they were like, oh, you guys together? And we just like looked at each other. 'Cause
I
it
was like, are we
literally.
together?
And I
She's
was
like, well, answer, hello.
Yeah, right. So I was like, yeah, like I guess, like what did we say? I don't remember
and
what I
we-
said at that time.
I think you said yeah.
I think we just
But-
said yeah, because then it would have been weird. Like what do you fucking think?
Well,
No,
and
we're
really
just
care. It
friends.
was-
Well, we're talking.
Yeah,
but-
how do you
it was a
explain
random,
that?
Yeah.
It was
We're
a
just
random.
friends.
We're in the
like-
talking phase. Like, no, you're
Yeah.
not gonna say that.
Yeah.
We also have the same last name, so people.
I remember.
weird.
Yeah,
That's
that is
crazy.
right.
Yeah.
People think we're married. Like, especially for that
They were-
gymnastics
yeah.
class, we both had to write our first and last names down. And the guy was like looking at us because we're like young, and he's I'm like,
21.
yeah, I'm like, no, we just have coincidentally the same last name.
That's
But-
funny.
So
Yeah.
then I think we worked out again after that, and then we were talking about psychedelics a lot in that workout.
my
We were just talking about
God.
psychedelics.
Damn.
And,
So
and-
the-
yeah, because I used to trip and she's tripped before, so it was like just a random day. Everything was like a Thursday, so pretty much like I didn't have anything else to do.
She's laughing.
And
Something's going on.
yeah, and then she was like, I was crashing at this Airbnb at the time, and he had like he's a crazy guy. He had pulled out like this big bag of shrooms one day, like before, and then I told her, and I was like, because we were like, I don't remember who told who, but we're like, dude, we should trip. Like, do you want to trip today? It was like early because we had just.
This
gone
is
to
the
gym.
second time we hung out outside
Yeah.
the gym.
Oh my
This
God.
is the first time he came over to my house.
gosh.
This is the first time we ever went over to like each other's house, you know, and like hung out like exclusively, like behind the scenes. And we just get so we were tripping so hard on these
Yeah.
shrooms that it was just like
You kind of skipped a lot because it was just kind of like we were just like, yeah. So I went, got the shrooms, and went to her house. And we made a protein shake because she was like on prep. Yeah, you were on prep. So I was like, we can just put a scoop of protein, blend them up, it'd be like 2 smoothies.
it was actually fire. It was
And-
Was it?
Dude, it was a lot though. We took a lot. Can we say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're
we
good.
took like 4 grams each.
The
I got
normal-
8. Yeah.
the normal, I'd say like cap for
Like a
some
normal
way it's like to
dose
not
is
tip you
3.5.
over. If someone my size, okay, somebody our size, that would be like 2 or 2.5. Like you're good on that. Like you can get pretty tripping on that. Like if you take it like any more for me at least, I know I'm like gonna I'm in there. I am tripping bad. I am just like
like the
in
like
there.
the what would you call like efficacious dose would be 3.5 grams for like average male,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We took 4 each, so it's like a little bit more than like the normal dose. So yeah, and like I don't want to just say that we took shroom to like and like just promote it in a way, because you do have to be careful. It's like it's like pre-workout. You're not just gonna take pre-workout in the middle of. It's like a compound. It's a substance. It has a use, and I know there's a lot of stigma behind psychedelics in this, but I think they have a place in this world, like as far as therapeutic, like therapy. Because I used to be very anxious back in the day, very shy, very like what would you say? Yeah, just insecure. And with psychedelics, it made me realize certain things about life. It made me realize and come to peace with certain aspects of myself. It would bring like certain topics or like struggles right into my face, and I couldn't ignore them anymore type of thing. And it's like you have to deal with it. So it made me have like a lot of learning and growing from it. But it's a lot of like, it's setting, right? You can't just trip anywhere. Like you have to be in the right setting with the right people. It's got to be a safe environment.
Right mindset. Yeah.
Right mindset and right environment, because like they're very auto-suggestible. So if you're like scared, your trip's going to be scary.
Yeah.
If you're confident, you're going to have a confident trip. Happy, you're having a happy trip, right? So it's kind of like really empower what you believe. Because like I think there's still a lot that we don't know about psychedelics, and probably something that I just haven't done my research on the psychedelics itself, but I think there's like a lot more than we know already from there, just based on what I've experienced. But going back to the story, we ended up just like tripping and just watching music videos. We ended up watching Twilight too, like a little bit of Twilight. We were just like chilling on the sofa, because it got to a point where I like became the sofa. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's saying you just like go, you're on the couch.
And that's part of what was like I really like, because I decided, or I realized there, I was like, man, I really like her. Like we've just been barely hanging out. I barely like really know her that much, but I'm very comfortable. Like I'm very comfortable here with her. Like, and that's like something special. You know what I'm saying? Like just the energy that was there. I was like, okay, like this is nice. Like I liked it. This is somebody that I can like be vulnerable with, and just because I had never been that open. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like a reserved guy, kind of like a shy, more quiet guy, and
I'm the opposite of that. I'm so opposite to that
like,
aspect.
It was just a fun experience. And like, that was like the first time. After that, I went to Tampa. Like literally, like the next day, we went to Alex Toplin's house just for the weekend, and it was fun. And then I came back home. I saw her, and then the next day I had to go back to Mexico. Yeah. I had to go to Bacalar with my family. It was a family trip, but it was like already planned. But it was just kind of like I was just so excited to meet her and everything, and then like got like had to go on a family trip, and it's like
his FaceTime me like the entire time.
I think it added to the like the connection we have, because it's like that we wanted to see each other, but for like some reasons we really couldn't, and it wasn't like a parent telling you, no, you can't go. It was like, oh, shit.
You were just, like, traveling.
Yeah, I was just going to Mexico to see my family, and it was a great trip, and I still enjoyed it, because I wasn't like, well, I'm not going to obsess over this. Like, I just met this girl. Like, I can't just be sad about this.
Can't be
like,
simping that quick.
Facts. But, yeah, like, since then it's when it, like, we just, like, connected, and I was like, yeah, this is a cool girl, and, yeah. That's how we met, I guess.
That's awesome. I think kind of the same thing with us. I mean, right after we met, like 2 weeks after we met, we went to Florida together, and that was like our, like because like my family called me and they were like, "We're in Florida. I'll buy you a plane ticket." And my mom wanted me to come really, really bad, and I was like, "Can I bring my girlfriend?" She was like, "You have a girlfriend now?" And I was like, and I'm in the room, and Alyssa's eating pancakes at the table, and I'm like, and I was like, and I walk out there, and I was like, and I just kind of like start putting dishes away, and I was like, "We should take a vacation." She was like, "That'd be fun." I was like, "Let's go to the beach." She's like, "Okay," and she was like, and I was like, "Let's go to Florida," and she's like, "Okay," and I was like, "How about tomorrow?" And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was like." She just kind of like froze, and then I was like, yeah, like I'll buy your plane ticket. My parents are buying mine. Like, and she's like, "Well, I have work," and I'm like, "Calling sick. They're not gonna know." Yeah. And she was like, "Well," and I was like, "Come on, like how fun would that be? Like so spontaneous." And she was like, "Okay." So then I go, and we struggled to find flights, like everything, like because it was so last minute, and we were flying from Albuquerque to Tampa, which usually a flight in Albuquerque has to stop in Hobby. and it's like double the price because Albuquerque connects to like nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't matter where you're no matter where you want to go, unless it's Colorado. Colorado is the only place you can go to for like $60, but like flights were like $300 each way.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit. And I was like, okay, so we got that. And then the fact that my parents let us stay, because I think it was my sister that paid for the room. And like my family is very, very Catholic, very religious. And Alyssa's not Catholic, right? Like not Catholic. I mean,
No.
a Christian falls under like everything, right? But like my parents really wanted me to have like a very stout Catholic girl that I could bring home, which my ex-girlfriend wasn't Catholic either, and my family did not really like her. So like same thing, and I was like, oh gosh, and she never met my family, right? And we'd been talking for 2 weeks, and so I was like, you know what, let's just do it. So we went out there, and it was a really, really good experience, and we just had like long talks on the beach and walks on the beach, and like, you know, both like the fact that I invited her, because and we've talked about this on previous podcasts, like Alyssa was not my type. Like I wouldn't have seen her at like the gym or a bar. I would have been like, oh, she's hot. But I wouldn't have like been like, oh, like, you know, like, yeah, I gotta go talk to this girl. You know what I mean? And so when we kind of met, it was kind of just like, I just didn't walk in with any expectations. And I was like, I'm just gonna kind of see how things go. And I think she was the same way. I think she was just kind of like, oh, this guy just keeps wanting to hang out. And like,
right? He trying too hard.
I know.
I was like, whatever, you know, like, so.
They make it too hard for us, guys. We're just trying to chill.
I know. Oh, yeah. So, but like, you know, so I think it was really easy, you know, going in with no expectations.
Yeah.
And it made it so simple. And then when, you know, we actually got like after that trip, I was like, okay, like I'm set. Like, I mean, like she knows what she's doing. Like we were talking about like careers, things we wanted to do. Like I was in prep at the time. So I'm like, yeah, I want to go compete and stuff like that. And she was supportive. And like our first dates were, she would go to the gym with me at like 11:30 after she got off work at Target, and she would come work out with me.
Yeah.
Stinky, sweaty, and then she would just come spend the night at my place, and then like wear a pair of my clothes. Like she was wearing my clothes to work one time because she forgot some.
Yeah.
So she literally wore a pair. The
I mean,
fact
the
that
fact
she
that your
fit
jeans
in my
fit me.
jeans
Yeah.
and my shirt just goes to show how small I was at that time. I was like 30, 40 pounds less than I am now. But
Wait, how long ago did you guys?
so we met in 2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2020. We met like right after my birthday, like 2 days after my birthday, because we went out drinking, and I remember she was like, "You're from Washington?" I was like,
Oh,
I was still
yeah,
using my
he
fake
had a
ID.
Fake ID, and I was like, "How old are you?" Because this is my first time like seeing and like meeting him. I'm like, oh
He's
my
like
God.
16.
Yeah,
I'm like,
17.
"No, baby girl, come here." and yeah, so yeah, I was using my fake because I had just turned 21, and I don't know why I was going out on prep. I was going out and drinking with my roommate like 2-3 times a week
smartest.
on prep. Yeah. And I would just go get like a chicken Caesar salad at the bar, and I would just
Wait,
take
like-
tequila shots.
This
You're
is
getting
Oh,
a chicken
okay.
Caesar salad
Yeah.
from a bar. That's where you first fucked up. Okay, that's disgusting.
But it was, you know what's the funniest thing? Is like I'm at the bar and I'm like fucking starving. So I'm like, okay, I need like, and I'm
show
like,
up
this is
cranky,
about,
like-
I'm like, this is about 6 ounces of chicken. And I was like, take everything off. I just want the iceberg lettuce. Like, cause I was in keto at the time. And I would do the ranch. And I'm like, the ranch has fat. So like, and I would just do a small amount cause I couldn't eat a dry ass salad. But so my roommate and I, Nate, we would go to the bar. We would do that. We limit it to like 4 tequila shots. That's not any better, right? Like we're literally on prep, but like we would do it a couple times a week. And I remember the second or third time that we went out, she was with her friend. She brought like 2 or 3 of her friends, and me, Nate, and then one of his friends. And the server
You
comes
gonna
up.
expose me right now.
No, I'm just
Okay.
saying that the server comes up and is like, yeah, can we get you guys shots and stuff like that? And we were like, yeah. And then we all ordered chicken salads. And we're all just sitting there, 1 a.m, eating fucking salads. And
To be fair, I love salads, like Caesar salads. I don't know why.
Well, because, like-
dressing is so good.
yeah, and at that bar, like it was a pretty solid ass like salad. Like honestly.
Yeah, it was pretty
And so
good.
like we would
Yeah,
get it, and
yeah.
like Nate and I are just sitting there like
Chicken Caesar
downing it, and
salad.
she would just be like, damn, that kind of looks good.
At a
So she started
bar.
ordering salads because she was like, well, I don't want to eat like fries in front of you when you can't have it. So I was like,
Yeah.
damn. So yeah, but you know, I think walking in to a relationship with like no expectations by far,
going
like
with the
like
flow, yeah.
the best thing that you can do. And I was actually giving this advice to someone today, just being like, you know, don't go into a relationship or don't try and talk to someone and be like, okay, this I'm gonna try and make this the person and like go, you know, because like when I started talking to Alyssa, like I still had like other girls I was talking to. And then it was like after she came over for the first time and, you know, I was just like, okay, she's like serious. I was just like, all right, bye. And it just disappeared. And I was like, okay, I'm going to invest my time into here. And if it doesn't work out, whatever. But not because all those other times that I had like done hookups or I was just like, okay, like I kind of like this girl, whatever, you know, going in with expectations like, oh yeah, she'd be like a really good girlfriend or this or that was really, really hard for me because I had too many expectations and it always kind of backfired on me.
Yeah, and then you're like sitting there criticizing or rating this girl when instead you should be getting to know them.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is what I want. And you're not even that person that you want to be as a husband. I'm like 21 years old. Like how can you expect so much out of that other person when you're just there like starting out? You know what I'm saying? But
exactly.
Yeah, like, you're going to say something.
Yeah, with that, I feel like if you have like all these expectations, especially if you like don't even know the person yet, like literally just said, "Hi, my name is Shelby. Who are you?" You know what I mean? And you'd have no idea. For real, like you have no idea where they're at in life. You have no idea what they're doing for their career. Just like how, like I don't even know how it's even possible to be so quick with that information for yourself, you know? Yeah. And you're having all this expectations, not knowing if that person can even do all those things that you're wanting them to do, or I don't know, just a bunch of other things. I feel like every time you expect something like that, like you're just gonna get disappointed almost 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
It's not the right approach. I feel like when meeting a person, it's like or when meeting like a partner, because it's just like you have to be aware. Maybe like I was like open and for a relationship, I wasn't like closed off because I know some people they don't want to have a relationship and that's totally fine. Like they just want to stay single, but it's like you just need to know that and then like just get to know the person without like putting so much importance into the little details, because when you have that expectations, that's when you're like, oh fuck, she left me on red, or oh fuck, she did. It's like you're just torturing yourself with these thoughts when it's like she's just living her life, bro, and like less as you should too. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you get to know them. If you click, that's cool. If not, that's also cool. Right. You know? And I feel like guys just kind of have like too many expectations, and like they're just gonna get disappointed in a way. Like when you have no expectations, you can't get disappointed in a way either. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the thing, and like, what's the difference? But I don't want to sound stupid. What's the difference between like having expectations, I guess, and having like standards for yourself? You know what I mean? Because like to a limit, like I'm not gonna like if I were to go meet a hobo on the street and he's talking all sweet to me, and I'm sorry, honey, there ain't no chance in hell you can say anything to me right now. Yeah. But so like you know what I mean, and like just an expectation of like versus standard. You see what I'm
saying? So I get what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. That's like a standard of living. It's like how do you want to live your life, and like the person has to have like similar morals, similar values, similar like just like understandings of life. Like you know what I'm saying, or just you get comfortable to like this when you were like 1 to 7. What experience you experienced during that time, and what you experienced like physically, that's gonna be your comfort zone pretty much forever, because that brings you back home to those like moments of when you were a child, right? So like that has to be like similar in a certain aspect with people, and then. Yeah, and then, I guess you do have to have, like, a talk with yourself, like, hey, like, what kind of things you want out of a partner, but I feel like you do, like, people, like, subconsciously do that, and it's good to make it conscious so you don't, like, just make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's good to be aware of what you want and then, like, be the best version of yourself so that you can ask for stuff. Like, because as long as you're being good for yourself and you're working hard and being the best version that you can possibly be, and I feel like it's okay to ask a little bit for somebody to be the best version of them. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you're asking for them, for the effort, not like this long hair. Like, you know, it's not like physical expectations. Right. It's like kind of like a personality, like a moral thing.
Yeah, so I totally agree with that, right? Like, and I think, so like when Alyssa and I met, I literally told her all my ambitions, my entire life story, told her like deep family drama that I had, like on the first date, and she was just kind of like
so crazy.
She's kind of just sitting there. She's like,
red flag. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know you like black guys. I wasn't her type either.
No.
Honestly, so that's no. Okay. Still do.
No.
I mean, if Michael B. Jordan walks up, you're not gonna say no.
Yeah.
She's like, you're right.
I know I'm saying I would say no.
Don't lie.
That was the first TikTok that we made that blew up. Is I made just like a stupid video. It was like, I think it was in the airport, just like waiting to leave her, coming back home from one of our vacations. and I used like a trend that was going on at the time, and I was like, my girlfriend's typing to put up like pictures of Drake and Michael B. Jordan and stuff like that, and I was like, what she got? And I was just like this, and it got like 3 million views, and I was like, oh shit, and that's why when we posted the next one, it already had kind of some traction on my page. I think that's why I did so well, but yeah, so I think that, you know, in order to get into a relationship, you definitely need to have yourself figured out, right? Like, and so before we met, I had like my full like hoe phase. Like I was, you know, pretty much done. Like I was in a position where I was like, okay, I've gotten all the, you know, everything out. Like I'm focused on myself. I was in my routine. I was in prep. Like I was doing my thing. And I think she was in the same boat. Like she was, you know.
I had gone through my hoe phase already, did the whole Tinder thing, and I was like, okay, this is not for me. Like I don't want this.
And we both didn't have very long of like a hoe phase, like a couple of months, right? And, you know, so... But I think the big thing is, you know, going into, you know, that relationship, like because like on that first date, you know, she put her hand on my leg and I was like, okay, I know that she's serious. Like she's not playing games with me right now. And so I was like, okay, cool. Like I know kind of like what the vibe is. So then I felt a little bit more comfortable and having those expectations made it really easy. And then it was just kind of like, yeah, if you want to stay over the night, you can. And she was like, okay. And she just would kind of do it. She did her own thing. And we kept it really, really calm. Like I didn't obsess over like texting her, things like that. And even now too, and I don't know if you guys would agree, but I think that since and I mean, you guys don't live together at the moment, right?
No.
Okay, but you guys have, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so like we live together right now. And when I'm at work all day, I don't usually text her. Like when we're apart from each other, I don't text her. I don't really call her or anything like that. Like I'll go an entire day not talking to her. And then when I get home, like then we actually like have time, we spend it together. And I honestly,
stuff to talk about
I think
too,
that's really, really important. And I think especially like for a relationship, like you don't need to be texting that person 24/7. Like you need to be able to like, okay, like, hey, I'm at work. All right, cool. And like just being chill with that. Like, cause I know that I definitely struggled with that. Like I'd text her something and I wouldn't hear a response and I'd like get on Snapchat and I'd see like, you know, 10 minutes ago, and I was like, I texted you 30 minutes ago, but you're just like, the hell you're not responding for? And it used to bug me a lot, and then I was kind of just like, well, whatever. And
well, and I feel like the closer like people get too is because like especially like with me and Josue, the closer that we bonded, the less I felt like I needed to like catch him. You know what I mean? Because I realized like I already had him. Like it's already like we're locked and loaded. Like I don't know, like I'm not. There's no reason for me to be like tripping over much of anything as of right now. You know?
Yeah. That makes
if he didn't want to come home to me every night, then he didn't have to come home to me every night. You know, that's his choice.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what I've always told Alyssa too. Is kind of just like if at you know, like because like sometimes we'll have like arguments or whatever, and I'll just kind of be like, you know, like you don't have to, like you're not locked in right now. Like we're not married or anything like that. So if you got to a point where you were like, you know, like we just don't vibe, we just don't mix, like that's okay. Like we can go figure out our own things and then come back. Like, you know what I mean? And that's okay. Cause sometimes there are issues that like you can't work out when you're with another person. Like sometimes you just need time to like, okay, hey, cause like when I was with my ex-girlfriend, part of the reason why I kind of like ended things is I was like, I need to do like my own thing because I was constantly going over to her place all the time. I was like losing sleep. I was getting behind on homework because it was just so much time spent there. And I was like, I need to do my own thing now. That kind of backfired because then I was like, fuck, I got a lot of time now. And I was like, let me go out and start hanging out with people. But so that kind of backfired. But it was also kind of important too because I needed to like learn to kind of be alone. Like, I mean, for like 4 years, for 4 years, I was staying at the same person's place. Like, you know, and it was just like, it literally kind of felt like a marriage. And it was just kind of, and, you know, being 17, 18, I was like, I feel like I'm fucking married. I don't want to be married right now. Like, what the fuck? So, and I think that that's really important. So, like, and that's why it's a really big thing for like Alyssa and I. Like, she'll go out with her girlfriends and she'll go get food or something like that. And I don't care. Like, and it's like, it doesn't even cross my mind. Like, she doesn't even like ask. It's more just like, hey, like I'm going out with the girls. So I'm like, all right, cool, have fun. Like I really don't care. And she would do the exact same. Like, if I'm like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with so-and-so or whatever. Thing is I work most of the time. So I usually just, like, if I do go somewhere with someone, it's usually a mutual friend. So we usually just go together. But like, she has, like, she'll go hang out with the girls and stuff like that. And like, I mean, I think that you guys are going to the rodeo and like, I'm not going because I was just like, I got to work, you know what I mean? So, and I think that that's really important because I know that in the past I've had things where I like was so self-obsessed over like,
Oh,
what are you doing without me? You know what I mean?
Same.
Like,
Yeah,
Why
I
do you
went
need
through
it?
that
Why
too.
do you don't want to be with me? Why don't you want to?
Yeah, like,
why do you need to be alone?
responding?
Yeah.
Like, I literally
Yeah.
just texted.
Yeah.
so, and I think that's really important.
And
So having
that's
space.
key. Yeah, like being able to be okay with not having like with not just being together all the time, and that's part of like why I kind of moved out, because it was like that same. It was like feeling like just like this routine, and I think I was struggling to like kind of like say, okay, I need to do this at these times, because I was just so. What is she thinking? What is she feeling? How I don't want to upset her.
Yeah, yeah.
Type, like, you know, like, and yeah, I kind of needed to like, hey, I need to sometimes just have some space to like work, like dead ass work.
Yeah.
Work on myself, like do these
Yeah.
things, because
Do your own
it's
thing, yeah.
important. We're two different humans. We're not one human. We gotta be doing our own things, and I feel like it got to a point where we were just like becoming one, and I was like, what, like,
Yeah.
I like lost track of who I
And
was.
especially like
Yeah.
really, really early into a relationship, like that's really tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and dude, like when I met her, it was kind of like we have very similar backgrounds as far as like what we like to do. We like the sport that we do. We do the same like job thing. We
Yeah.
compete. Like it was kind of like a miracle made in heaven. You could say like, or
Yeah.
what do you mean?
A perfect
made.
match. Yeah,
it was
perfect
like
match.
holy shit, and we had the same last name. I was like, we're like already married.
Yeah.
Right, so I like moved in with her. I was looking for a place. Like I said, I was crashing, so I was like, dude, like, let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
Like let's, you know, like we can split the rent. Like let's do this. And she's like, yeah, dope. And it was fucking dope. Like it was dope. But then it got to the part where I was just kind of like, I forgot to put myself first in situations, and it's
Yeah.
not like she was forcing me to
Right,
at
right.
all. Like none of that. It was just me in my subconscious, or like how I was raised, or something. You know,
Right,
like
right.
And I feel
just-
like when with anything, not even like in a relationship, say with something else, like a new hobby, you just picked up a new job, whatever. If you invest yourself into that thing instead of making the return on investment on yourself out of that thing, you know, then it's only going to benefit you in the worst possible way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to kind of remind yourself that like. And he told me that eventually when he communicated to me that like he kind of felt like it was like starting to lose himself. I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
where did this? What's going?
Yeah.
Where did that
Yeah.
come from?
Yeah.
I'm like,
It was-
what the
yeah,
hell?
part of it
I
was-
felt fine. Like I felt,
Yeah.
you know,
Nothing,
normal.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've lived like I've moved out of my like mom's house at like 17, so I've
Yeah.
always
Oh
been.
yeah, so you've always been.
Yeah, I've always
Yeah.
been fine on my own. I've always been
Yeah.
by myself.
Right.
But when you like go full fledged into full everything, moving in all at one time, I think that's where that kind of
We just
friction
kinda-
happened.
And then it gets tough because then when they start kind of being like, I love you, but I need my space. I need to do my own thing. And then it's like, well, what did I do wrong?
Yeah, now
Right.
you're offended.
It's
Yeah.
weird to kind of get the message across clearly without any misinterpretation. It's you have to be very, very open and like literally talk every single detail out. Like I
Yeah.
said this, what do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is what I feel about
Yeah.
that. Like,
Communication,
it's
100%.
and it's
Yeah.
something that
Agree.
at first I lacked a lot, and she's helped me, and like I've actually allowed myself to communicate a lot more thanks to this relationship, thanks
Yeah.
to her. And like at first I feel like we did rush it because I thought it was like I was like I'm looking for a place, and I met her, like it's perfect.
Yeah,
It's God, like yeah, like this is it, like. And then it just always felt like since I moved into her place, it felt like it was like under her, like I was
Yeah.
invading her space.
Yeah,
And even
yeah.
though we were sharing the rent, we were sharing the expenses, it was like it was like I had to make sure she was okay with everything that I
Right.
did. And that's like a weird way to live your life. And it's nothing like that she did or she was like a bitch or anything. That was just like how it felt by like just going to her house.
Yeah,
you know
I
what I'm
feel like
saying?
I definitely felt like that with Joe too, because like it was his apartment and
Mm-hmm.
it's not like
Right.
apartment we looked for together,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and agreed upon together. So I definitely like know where you're coming from and how you felt too, because like I would always be at Joe's house and he would always like tell me to like, oh, like bring clothes or like you could stay, like basically hinting like you can live here, but it was never like
Like
I want you to
about-
move
like
in.
our
Yeah.
like our thing. It just felt like like kind of not like a roommate, but it just felt like I was invading like
Yeah,
his
in a way.
privacy and like.
And they don't do anything to like make you feel
And
like
I feel
that.
like that
It's
just has to do with maybe like being raised a certain way or like just like I'm not sure what it has to do with, but
Well,
it's just like that's how I felt too.
And one of the really important things that we've done since we've moved down here is made this our place.
Yeah.
So like even for our roommate, like he kind of just like I mean he doesn't really like ever come in like the living room or like, you know, like I mean he kind of just does his own thing. So we've really kind of just taken over the place in terms of like making ours. Like we got the couch, like we got the TV, we got all that stuff, and that's what's been really important because it's been a lot more fun to like decorate the place together and make it ours, right? So she'll, so I'm like, okay, she's like, I want this, and she'll go pick it out, and I'm like, okay, cool, and like we work together to kind of do it, and that's what makes it like this where we live right now truly does feel like a home. Like even though like I want to get a house at some point, but like I'm literally so happy here, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I, because we've been talking about like, yeah, let's get a house, like, and I'm like, honestly, there's no rush. Yeah, there's no rush. Like we enjoy it here. We like the location. We love the way the apartment looks. Like we're really happy with kind of being here. So it's like, you know what, like this is our home, and so that's why, because at my last place I had 2 couches and a table. Yeah, and that was it. And the couches were free from my sister. And then it was like a table. There's no decorations or anything like that. So now coming down here, we've made a really big point. And I'm like, you know what? Honestly, like I'm planning to stay here for a good minute. So like, yeah, I'll screw things into the wall. You know what I mean? And then I'll cover it up when I leave. Like, so I think that that's been really important. And same thing with you guys. Like you went into her place versus you guys going and looking at a place together. Yeah. So like if you guys did live together in the future, that's what you would probably do.
Yeah.
Just go pick a place together.
And
find
part of it was like, I wanted to live by myself because I never have ever lived by myself. Okay.
Like
so part of it was like I need to and I want to.
That's just important. Like
you find out
a component
of
being an independent individual and an adult. You know what I mean? Like that's
So that's part of why I moved out, and it was just kind of like I want to be able to get to know myself in this aspect. But I was like, I don't think I need to terminate this relationship. Like I don't need to put Shelby through the heartbreak when it's not needed. You know what I'm saying? Like this shouldn't happen. Like I can still, it's okay if I move out. Yeah. It's like just to come to peace with that, because without saying like I want to move out, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
yeah, and we didn't even like try it like the normal way of dating. Like, you know what I mean? Like the first, you first like you guys live separately, go hang out, and then you eventually like a year down the road, you get a place. No, it wasn't like we skipped that part. So I was like, there's. Boom. Try it a different way. Try it how it usually goes for most people, and then now it's working out great. But and then he moved out and Choppa moved in. So
no, so I can so we went out last night, right? And you guys were there. So for everyone that we went out. When you guys are seeing this, will be a little bit later. But we went out with Brandon and James and. It was Madrid's birthday. We went out with like a big group of people. It was a lot of fun, right? And literally last week we were talking about how we didn't enjoy going out because of like the friends that we were kind of surrounded by, which I doubt Sush and James will be watching this, but you guys did. We really enjoyed going out last night, like fucking a blast. Great. You guys are great hosts and stuff like that. So, but, so when we were out last night, and this is something that, I was kind of thinking about, and I was like, this really isn't conventional. So when we were going out last night, like Liz got pretty lit. Honestly, we won't expose you too much. Yeah, I won't expose you too much. Liz was lit. Liz was a hell of a lot of shots deep, and I drove there. But I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna drink too, but like I'm just kind of like chilling. I'm just making sure that she's okay. She was having a blast. She was feeling herself. Which honestly, props to you. You looked fucking good, by the way. So she was feeling herself, and I was like, go. Like I was like, damn, like And so she was kind of doing her thing. And I think that this is something that, like, I think if other people, like, knowing our relationship, if they didn't know our relationship and they saw that, they'd be like, what the heck? Because she was out there. She was, she was grinding up on the girls. She was, like, dancing with the girls and stuff like that. And then, like, she was hanging out with Sush and James and stuff like that. And, like, we were all just vibing together. Like, because it was a big group of friends. And we were all just kind of vibing together. And I think... again, other people not knowing our relationship, I think if they saw that, they'd be like, oh my God.
They'd be like, why is this girl dancing on
Why is she dancing with other guys? Yeah. And like, when I'm saying dancing with other guys, I mean like, they're just...
She went up and had a conversation.
They're just vibing. Yeah, they're like vibing back and forth. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just, and I saw it and I was like, I wasn't bothered at all. Right. And kind of like the same thing when I was talking about, with Alyssa having her OnlyFans, it's just kind of like, it really doesn't bother me. Like, you do whatever you want, and I support you. Like, as long as she's not doing anything that makes me feel uncomfortable in a relationship. So she's going out and making out with other guys.
On her part, though, yeah.
That's a different thing.
Yeah. Right. Different story.
Right. That's a different story. But she was, she was dancing with some of the other guys, and like we were just kind of like all in a group, and I think again people like seeing that would kind of be like really weird, but. With you guys, do you guys feel like you have a really good open relationship to where like, you know, if Shelby's, you know, dancing with like some of the girls, or if she's hanging out with like some of the friends that you're just kind of like, whatever, and you're vibing. Because I think, because again, like with us, like, and like the guys, as long as they're not overstepping their boundary.
Oh, even
and
if
like,
they weren't to try to, I would literally call you right away.
Alyssa would call them out right away, right? And I don't feel like I would ever have to have the need to step in unless like one of those guys just obviously didn't know,
Or, like,
and
harass.
I would make it very
yeah,
very known, like
choice to.
I'm here, like just, you know, just be aware, right? But like I didn't have to be up on her ass the entire night. I didn't have to follow her around. I wasn't following her to the bathroom, like. And again, at a club, like, because I've heard stories of other couples going to a club and like, it's so loud there, right? And you know, a guy will come up to one of the girls or something and like ask her a question, and the boyfriend will see it and be like, "The fuck, are you flirting with that guy?" And it's like, no, like it's loud, because like a girl came up to me at the club last night, and I was she was
kind of like
I just pretend I hear. I'm like, yeah.
yeah, same most of the time. But a girl came up to me last night and asked me a question. She asked if I was Mark. She's like, "Are you Marco?" And I was like, "No, I'm not Marco." I was like, "Marco's got glasses and long hair." But Alyssa saw, yeah, and but Alyssa saw and was like, "Oh, like what'd she say?" And I was like, "Oh, she was asking the." You know, I was Marco or whatever. She didn't come up and be like, "Were you flirting with that girl?"
Yeah,
like,
that's different. Yeah.
And again, it's because, you know, again, we have a really good relationship. We communicated about a lot of things, and so like, if she wanted to, if she walked off with the girls and those girls went, you know, somewhere else, I'd be like, cool, and I'd be doing my own thing, I'd be hanging out with the guys, and like, and we have a good relationship to where, again, you know, she's dancing with James and them, like, I don't care. And the same thing if like, you know, you guys or whatever, you Jess or, you know, whoever else was there. You know, if we're all just kind of like vibing or dancing together, like we don't have like a jealousy thing, right? Yeah. So like she's not getting jealous if there's other girls around me. I'm not getting jealous if there's other guys around her. But I want to know you guys' take. Yeah. If you guys kind of feel the same way, right? Like if it was, you know, like if Shelby kind of like walks away and kind of does that thing, like how do you feel about it, right?
I think it comes down to a couple of things. Like it has to do with trust and like confidence. Like that's the main factors with that. Because one, I have to be confident in myself and not like just be insecure and think that she's gonna like run away or get stolen or something. And then I have to trust her that she's with me. And it's like, even if I see her talking with whoever it is, maybe it's like fucking, I don't know who you want to think, this super tall.
C-bum.
Yes.
Yeah, C-bum.
C-bum. And
I don't like my voice.
I have to understand that I trust her.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that does happen where it's like I don't really get threatened. And because, it comes down to like the confidence. And it's like, I trust her. Now, if she were to do something where it's like, where you could say like, yeah, this is not acceptable, then I'll be like, well, like this is what she decided to do. Like maybe it's not going to be in a relationship, but I still wouldn't like get too hurt about it because it's something I can't control. Like it's something that's not in my control. Of course, you can be sad and like heartbroken, but it's like I trust her to do her things, right? Like she's an adult. She's a grown adult. Yeah. And if she's going to like do something, then maybe their relationship's not gonna happen. But I trust her enough that I don't even really like get threatened. Like most of the time we go out, she gets hit on or somebody comes up to her. Yeah. Like literally like every time. Every time.
Usually they want me to flex.
And something, but no, guys do come up. You know how guys come up and just start making bullshit combos just to get to know and everything. And then I'm usually just like there chilling but they usually would be like, Shelby always is like, this is my boyfriend, or even like all her friends. They're like, this is our boyfriend, right? And then I would just be like, "What's up, man?" Like,
especially
okay?
especially
like literally, some guy came up and was like, he got all nervous and he was like, and I was like, "You're all right, bro." Like that one was like, "You're all right, bro." Like just keep walking, just get out of here. Nothing. They don't want you. It's okay. Like nothing. I'm not gonna beat you up. Like
Well, that's what happened last night. It was really, really crowded at Clay, right? And there was a couple guys that were like trying to get through, and Alyssa's fucking doing her thing, grinding up and down and stuff like that. And this guy's trying to walk through, and he's like, I could see he's like nervous. I'm just kind of like standing there chilling, and he like looks at me. He's like, "This your girl?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I'm just trying to go through." Like, and I'm like, "No, bro. Like, you're good," because he had to like grab her and like move her to the side to like get through, and she just had no idea what was going on. Like she's just vibing, and he was like, "I'm so sorry," and I'm like, "Bro, like don't even," because I know that that's a thing. And another thing too is, you know, let's just say that like, you know, even if you go to like, because I know that this is something that happens with couples, right? I can't say that I've personally seen it, but I'm saying that I've heard of this situation happening. Is like, girl get way too drunk and maybe like flash her tits or something like that at the bar or something like that. And the guy will get so fucking pissed and like get mad at her and I mean, if we're being honest, like if let's just say Alyssa did that last night, I'd just be like, okay, you're drunk. Like let's now go home. It's time to go home. Right. But I wouldn't like yell at her and be like, you fucking slut and this and that. Cause like I've heard of that happening. I've heard of like guys kind of like doing that. And I'm like, bro, like,
and I can comment on this. Cause like sometimes, I would like, you have to think about it, and it's like a commitment. It's like if you want to be with a bad bitch, you have to be prepared.
Yes,
it's like certain thing. And like it's happened before one time where it was like she almost flashed, and I was like, and I got like emotional. I was like, fuck, like I don't want anybody, and it wasn't like I was mad at her. Sure. And I'm like, I just don't want anybody to look at her tits.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
Like, and then I'm like, you have to like just fucking like swallow it, like dude, like this, like it's okay. It's just a tit, it's a nipple. Even if
it's not a surprise that I have boobs. Yeah, like, they're under this cloth. There's boobs under here.
It happened once, but she was wearing something that was like very easily could fall. Yeah, and I was like, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how to wear and how to dress. Right. Like no, I have to be prepared
for this, like, at least us. Like we said at the beginning, like he's pretty reserved, relaxed. Like doesn't say much unless he's like spoken to, you know. But I am. Especially at the club, just like in there dancing, just throwing the ass all the way around. So I feel like, you know, me at the club, I'm always just like turning around just to like make sure he's like okay, because he's not gonna go in there and like dance himself, you know. He's just like I'm the one who kind of initiates the dance offs, you know. So that's really the only thing. Other than that, like I'm always just there to have a good time. Yeah, if I complete that mission.
I have to understand that it's like either it's okay, like it's not a big deal. She's just trying.
At the end of the day, like who are we at the club with? I'm at the club with you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And so another thing too.
Who are you going home with?
Right.
Right.
So another thing too that I wanted to bring up is, and this has happened before. So like I saw a dress on TikTok one time, and I like saved it or whatever, and Alyssa's like, "What are you looking at?" And I was like, well, like I really like this dress, and I was like, but I don't know where you'd wear it. And it was kind of like a sequence kind of dress. It tied at the neck. It was like it had like
basically
side boob.
The one I wore yesterday, kind of.
No, it was a lot less than that. So it had like side boob, and then it covered like just barely the ass, but it had a slit up the side, and it's not one you could wear with a bra or underwear, just the way that it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really like this dress, but I don't know where you would wear it. Like maybe to dinner, but I'm like. I don't know, because it's like is very, very showy. Like I would love for you to wear that dress, and she was like, well, I could wear it like out to the club. And then in my head, I started thinking, I'm like, I wouldn't want you to wear that. And she's like, well, why not? And I'm like, well, for me, she's like,
you
why?
Saved it.
Yeah, she was like, why not? And I'm like, well, and I started thinking about it, and I was like, now this is where I would kind of like step in when she's like kind of like getting an outfit, is because I was like, well, okay, hey, for one, that is very easy, like especially if it's a crowded bar or club, and it's easy for a guy to just pull your skirt up. And at that point, I'm like, that's not fucking flying with me. And I'm like, but here's the thing, is it's like, let's not even put you in that situation, right? Like, especially if it's crowded, if it's busy, like you can 100%, if you like, and not to say like you're a hoe, but I'm saying like, if you wanted to dress and show off, like by all means, please do. Like I am here to 100% support. But at a certain point too, I want to make sure that like, you're not in a position for something to just happen just from like, the fact that I probably could have just stopped it with just something a little bit more, right? Like, because like and that's again, it's kind of like, and that's where I kind of come from, is I'm kind of just like, okay, I just want to make sure that like if she was insistent on wearing it, I'd be like, okay, we like don't go to a crowded club, because if that happens,
make sure I can
I'm like, don't put me in a position where I got to get in a fight, because I've never been in a fight, for one. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I do. Excuse me, sir, can you please not touch my girlfriend?
I like it.
I'm like, I don't like that. Please back away before I call security, you know? But you know, and so we kind of talked about that. And so, I mean, that's kind of the same thing too, right? That's not, most guys, I'd say probably 98% of guys, right, would not let their girlfriend wear certain things out, would not let them post certain things, right? Like the fact that Alyssa's in a relationship with me and has an OnlyFans is like, oh my God.
Everyone gets like mad about it. I'm like, I don't post what you guys think I post.
Yeah.
I know, it's like you could just post literally the same feed on Instagram and just
literally.
Charge. Yeah. And I mean, and so what's you guys' opinion on that? Like, so like wearing certain things and like posting certain things.
Here's my thing. I was never gonna be that guy to tell her what to do because I'm not her dad or
Right.
her parent or like I don't think I'm never going to be that guy either because I wouldn't want to anybody to do that to me too.
Right.
Like pretty much that's how I treat everything or
Yeah.
everybody. It's like as if I'm treating myself. Like if that person in front of me is just me, how would I want to be treated in
Right.
this situation, circumstance? So, but I do agree with you in that like. Why would you put the risk there? Like,
Right.
if you know it's gonna affect me, if you know I'm not gonna like that, now you wanting to look this way.
Oh, okay.
Can do
Go ahead,
that,
Shelby.
like-
Tell us.
Because what I'm wearing is not to please you. You see what I'm saying? Like you, well, you just said like you're wearing that and you know I'm not gonna like it. I'm not wearing it
No,
to
no, no,
make
no.
you happy.
I'm not saying that I'm not gonna like it. I'm saying what Joe was talking about, like the risk. Let's say like it's just some super complex dress that is very easy.
Super
to
skimpy,
just,
like a guy.
It was
like,
like
Okay.
a dress you wear to like Miami,
photo
like
shoot.
a.
it's like
pool
you would
party.
wear it on the red carpet and that's it.
But
Like
just
you
sit
can't
down.
like no
Yeah.
like if
Yeah.
wind comes by, you're
Okay.
fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'm just. See, I'm just super like independent. I have always, if my mama doesn't tell me I can't wear it, nobody else can tell me I can't wear it.
Right.
That's just what that's my always been my.
now here's the thing: if wearing something like that, if you knew it made him feel uncomfortable, would you still wear it? And that's more out of just a respect.
It's
out of
just
a relationship.
it has nothing to, at that point it has nothing to do with like the fact that like, oh, my boyfriend said I can't wear it. This is just respecting his feelings and his thoughts about
Yeah.
it.
I think that's
Yeah.
what it.
And I don't think it, and especially if it's as long as it's not something like it's like say it was like a non-skimpy dress and he's just like, I don't want you wearing that. That's
Yeah.
like, well, I don't
Now
give
we
a fuck
have-
about
yeah,
it.
that-
Now
yeah,
we
now
got a
we have-
problem.
right,
But
yeah.
if he's like, you know what, like if wind comes, like you're fucked. Like
Yeah.
everything is
Yeah.
out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's
Right.
more of, and so that's what I was kind of talking about. Because again, I still don't think that most couples and most relationships
I
would be
agree.
able to be like, you know, would be able to have that boundary.
Brush it
And,
off,
and
yeah.
again,
Yeah.
because most relationships that I've seen or where I've kind of like heard of this issue, right, is and sometimes like the girl will wear it just to like spite the boyfriend, and I'm just like, but why?
That's
Like,
just-
why would you?
yeah.
Why
do
are
that?
you in
Yeah,
a
that's just
relationship
out
if
of-
you're just trying to hurt
Like, out of
them?
spite, like-
on
Disrespectful,
purpose.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're doing like harm to this person purposefully. Why are you with them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's the other thing too.
Right.
That's what I see. Like that's the problem that I see. If you're doing something to first of all, if you're doing something to personally like do something shitty, you're just like a shit person. Like
Yeah.
you're just because like I said, if you take my analogy, if you're just doing that to yourself. That's what life is. Like
Yeah.
what you give is what you get. So
Yeah.
you're just doing that out of your way. You have a shitty life.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you're already going out of your way to make somebody else's experience of this life worse. Fuck, man, I can't imagine what you're going through in your mind.
Yeah,
Like that
exactly.
must suck. That must be so shitty that you get amusement from spiking or spite, like making
Yeah,
somebody else
spite,
mad.
yeah.
What do you get out of that?
Yeah,
Nothing. You
and
literally
like,
get
and,
nothing.
and that's the thing too. So like, if I knew Alyssa didn't like if I hung out with a certain person, and I continue to do that, knowing she doesn't like it,
Yeah.
and knowing that I'm willfully choosing to go, not like, okay, I work with someone, I can't like avoid it, you know what I mean? And it's
Right.
like, but like knowing that she doesn't like a certain person, and I go out of my way to do that, right? Or like text a certain person, or you know, someone oversteps her boundary, and she makes it clear like, hey, this girl's overstepping her boundary, you know what I mean? Like, and I continue to kind of do that. That's just, and that's at that point, if she wanted to, she could be like, bye.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she very well, and that would be
well,
like,
yeah.
you know, I'd be like,
I'm like,
damn,
oh, well.
Me, ho.
same thing, right? And so we talked, I think we talked about this on the last podcast. For her, she's like, you do one thing, it's over. Like if you like if you're shit faced drunk and a girl comes up to you at the bar, starts making out with you, and you don't push her away or something like that, like
See?
that's it. Like that's the one. And for me, I'm like, I'm kind of the opposite. I'm like, you know, I would kind of just kind of assess based on the thing.
Well, it depends on what it is. I was gonna say
Yeah.
because I'm
Yeah.
willing to. I fight hard for what I love and for what I care about, like saving a relationship over something that doesn't need to be split up over.
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
But if it's a making out at a bar, any type of other situation like that, then that's an automatic. See you
Yeah.
Yes,
later.
so something physical.
Oh,
Something
yeah.
physical.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think, yeah, and
That-
if I saw her ever do like cheat on me, it'd just be kind of like, okay, adios. Like
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Now
Yeah.
you want to move on
Yeah.
to somebody else, great. But this over here is closed.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
Yeah.
And you can't be mad about it. Like I remember I had this one guy when I had this old job, and he was like, and I told him like, bro, like you're just always hooking around with girls, and like girls like they hook on with those guys. Like, do you not give a fuck? Like you're just sharing. And he's like, honestly, like no, like you just gotta be able to just not give a fuck like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
well,
that's like, I think it's like a completely different.
For
topic,
me, and this actually happened. There was a little situation last night, but a girl grabbed his arm and was just kind of like hanging there and dancing with her friend. And I was like, for me, it's and if you don't shake that off, like if you don't, because any guy, if I notice somebody touch me at the bar, I look back 2 seconds. If I don't see one of my girlfriend's face or Josue's face, I'm yanking.
Yeah.
I'm pulling, yanking, or going for a punch because nobody's laying their fingers on me. And like it was a little tiff because he didn't flinch. And I'm like, any type of like somebody touches you. Now, of course, besides hugs, like especially with our friend groups, and like everybody hugs each other. Like that's the least of my goddamn worries. You know what I mean? But when it's like a whole situation when someone's going out of their way to actually touch you and you don't move yourself or remove them. Yeah. Because I took her off. Bye. Yeah. I took her right away. I took her off. I was
just kind of like dancing. She grabbed me. I was like this, and then I saw her hand like.
Shelby was quick with it.
She was pissed, and I was
so
like,
many hands. What's going on?
What just happened?
So we talked about this last week too. So Alyssa was like, so a girl comes up to you at the bar and goes, is flirting with you. Do you say I have a girlfriend or sorry I have a girlfriend? And she goes
that's a good question.
Because she goes, if you say sorry I have a girlfriend, why are you sorry?
Why are you sorry you're taking
For
it?
her.
So
that's what
she's
he
missing
said.
out. What do you mean? I'm not sorry. She's sorry.
Yeah. But I was explaining it to Alyssa, and I was like, honestly, here's the thing though. Like, I'm such I'm a really nice person. Like, I'm not gonna think about it. Yeah. I'm not gonna think about it. I'm not gonna be like, ooh, sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, I'm like, someone could like rear in my car and I'd be like, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Knowing that it's damn well their fault, right? And that's where her and I differ a little bit. She'd be like, nah, fuck no. I'd say, I got a boyfriend, right? So I think that you and I think you and I are kind of on the same wave page because I'm this kind of the same thing too, right? I've had, I don't know if it was like at a bar or something like that. I've had like girls kind of like brush up on me or kind of like grab me as I kind of like get by or whatever, and I kind of just like, and I just kind of like stay still. I just kind of like freeze. I don't do anything. But I always like look around. I'm like, did Alyssa see that? Like just in case, because like
Alyssa already has her weave wrapped up, earrings out, ready to go.
Same thing when that girl asked me last night if I was Marco. Right away, I like look at Alyssa, and Alyssa makes eye contact with me, and I'm like. But I didn't hear what the girl said, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what she said, and I'm like, I want to know. So I get down there, and Alyssa's just like watching, and I was like, nope, I'm not Marco. Like, keep it moving. Like, sorry. And then Alyssa came up. She's like,
yeah, what was that?
So what'd she say? And I was like, who's
your friend?
Yeah, but and I think that's where it's a little bit different too, because I think we're kind of the same way. Because Alyssa, she was standing on like the top of the seat last night, and she had you had your hand on one of the guys' shoulders.
I had it on Jake because I kept trying to like.
She had it on Jacob's shoulder.
Forward, so I was like this.
She was just like straight hand on there, and I like noticed it, and I was like, oh, she's also fucking going like this back and forth. But again, normal couples be like, get the fuck your hands off on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I definitely want to just kind of see what, someone else's opinion, but it sounds like you and Alyssa are the same.
Go.
It's fucking, that's so fun.
I didn't even mind you wanted to tell you what.
What's going on here? What's for real going on?
Now, I do want to wrap it up. I got one last question. So like for the future for you guys, have you guys talked about like future plans? And is that something that like, you guys, because for Alyssa, it was kind of the funniest thing. She always thought I was lying, right? I'd be like, I want to move to Texas. Like, I want to get a house. I want to get married at some point. And she's like, and she would always be like, why are you telling me this? And I'm like, I'm just talking out loud, right? And she's like, whoa, who are you gonna marry? And I'm like, well, you. And she's just like, she goes,
I just want to like make sure.
Don't say that unless you mean it. And I'm like, why else would I tell you? Like,
just joking around.
But yeah. So like, have you guys talked about that and kind of what is kind of the plan there? If you guys don't mind sharing.
Yeah, we've definitely talked about it before. I think, and we actually just had like a couple Q&A on my page yesterday where some of these kind of questions were breached. But like a lot of people asked us if we were eventually going to move back in together. Absolutely, it wasn't like like we're like never gonna live with each other ever again, type thing. It was just like we needed to take this step first, living separately, and then cross that bridge. So it's definitely one of the things. But
for the near future, I think we just plan on traveling mostly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
we're
even
doing a lot of
like thinking
too.
about getting a place. It's not even. It's like we want to travel.
Yeah.
We want to see. Like what a good plan would be just to go to the coolest gyms in the world and record a workout video just to like.
Let us know if you guys go. We'll join you.
Of course.
Road trip.
We wanted to take I had an idea back in South Padre. That we go to like every place that we travel to and go to the gym. We take a picture of like us kissing in front of like the gym sign.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
Like a little thing.
Like a little
We could
And
map
then
with that.
Right?
I don't think we're ever gonna do joint coaching though.
Yeah, no. I just
So Alyssa and I coach together, and it's definitely tricky.
Hard, yeah.
I'm about my business. I'm
yeah,
about my
because I
money.
like doing
so
I run
I'm
my
like,
own business my own way, and
And we've kind of talked about that, like, okay, should we separate kind of what we're doing and kind of like do that? And right now we're just kind of like so focused on what we're doing right now that it's kind of just like we
one
just,
thing
we
at
just
a
haven't
time.
even brought it up. But like,
Yeah.
I think that we could continue to kind of like keep doing our own thing together, but there's got to be like church and state.
Is it
There
totally
has to be
separate,
very,
yeah.
very clear boundaries. Like, hey,
Yeah.
these are your tasks. These are my tasks.
Right.
This is a business. You get your task done. I get my task done. Everything's good.
Right.
We have an issue if it goes, and it doesn't need to get personal. It needs to be
Yeah.
like, hey, this is, and
How do we fix it?
emotions have to stay out of it when you guys are
Yeah.
talking about
100%.
business, for sure.
100%. And we've struggled with that in the past.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
yeah,
Like,
that's
it's,
why I said I don't know if we're ever gonna do joint coach.
We've talked about like
Yeah. The
like
coaching.
t-shirt lines and things like that, or
But that would be like more like a brand, like a YouTube brand.
Yeah.
like an actual.
And that's like a
well, like what we
different
want to do
company.
together is I want to get into Airbnb,
Oh.
and I want to
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
I want to like
Yeah.
have her run
Dude.
that, and like, we just kind of coordinate that together. Like, I find the houses and stuff like that, and she just keeps them, does the booking in the back end type stuff.
Right.
Like, I want to kind of do things like that versus
Yeah.
like coaching together,
Yeah.
And I think that having our own stuff would kind of be cool, because then, the harder she works, the more she makes, she takes all that home.
Yeah.
Right. The harder I work, the more I make, I take all that
Take
home
it
too.
home,
And then we, from there, cause like even now we do split most of the things. But like we split most of our costs and stuff like that. But like, we don't really like fight about it. Right. So like,
Yeah.
if she wants to buy dinner, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
by
yeah.
all means. Right. And if I offer, so we usually do it like if I offer, I pay, she offers, she pays.
Yeah, we just kind of pay as we go. Sometimes I pay, sometimes she
Yeah.
pays.
Yeah. Just kind of switch
Yeah.
off and
Like,
on.
And
yeah.
it's never like a,
We- I
because
don't
I've
think we've ever
had this
even,
in
like,
previous
argued
relations. Yeah, where
or
it's like
talked
Yeah.
I paid last time.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm
always
like-
like who's ever there, and like I can just pay at the
Whoever
time.
wants to, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, it's not. I
We
don't
always
think
we
ever
put
struggle
both
with
cards
that.
together,
Yeah,
and we
card
just
game.
tell them, and we're like, pick one.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd be getting fucked over though, because
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I paid 3 in a row, but also like in like a 5 to 10 years, where do you guys see yourselves
What do you think?
in terms of like together or not?
Oh yeah, like if everything keeps going like good, yeah, I don't like see myself because I'm not like constantly searching. Like I met her, everything of the qualities I liked about her, I was like, fuck yeah, like I can share my days with her.
Yeah.
Like this is what I like. So yeah, if nothing like I don't know if one of us doesn't go batshit crazy, right? Yeah, of course we can be together. I don't know, like marriage for me, it's a weird thing because I feel like it's just kind of like a financial fuck up to get married, like legally. It's like
Okay.
you're just gonna put the state in between all your finances. Like,
Yeah.
why do that? I don't know, like, and to me it doesn't really mean anything, the paper. But if she wants to get married, I'm not gonna like fight her. Like,
Would you guys get married if you were to like if starting a family? Like if you're like, okay, we want to start a family or something like that, would you guys be like, okay, let's get married
Well,
first,
like,
or would
here's
you?
my thing. Like, I want to travel, and so it's like getting married. You don't get married in that country, so you have to get remarried in the other countries. Like
Yeah.
that's my thing about marriage. It's such like a government thing, and people don't realize it's like the world is fucking huge. I don't think I'm gonna be living in the United States in the future. Like that is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be making my money here and growing up here, and like, 'cause, yeah, it's a great country to start. You got systems that work, government that works, laws that work.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. The dollar is great. But the world is too big to stay here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not staying in the United States like, I'm not dying here is what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
I think I want to die
Makes
in an
sense.
island or somewhere, not in the United States. So
Madagascar.
that's why it's like the marriage thing. It's like, I don't, like, you're married. Like,
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. See, for me, marriage is honestly like a super important thing. Like, I think it's definitely something that I look for in a partner in the future. Not because of a paper or anything like that. I just think that's that people are raised that way. Like, well, my parents never got married actually. So for me, maybe that's why I do think marriage is more important for me because my parents never got married. So I've been longing for, some sort of that, in my life and things like that. But as far as, like marriage before kids and things like that, obviously that's how I'd want it to go. But I would want to get married before I like even thought about having kids. Like I don't even want
Yeah.
that to be a question. Like
Yeah.
duh, we're getting married. Like that's,
Yeah,
we're,
yeah.
we're,
You
duh,
wanna-
we're
you
getting
wanna-
married.
yeah,
Let's
of
think about
course.
kids later, but duh, we're getting married. You know
Now,
what I mean?
so now obviously you guys have different viewpoints of kind of
Yeah.
where futures look, right?
Yeah.
Now, when it comes down to it, what do you? I mean, it's hard to say who will kind of bend for the other, right?
Right.
Of course.
But if it kind of came down to it, like, okay, hey, we either got to stay together or I got to go follow my dream, right? How would you guys kind of tackle that?
Just like that. Just boom, ask it. Like you
Yeah.
just have to.
Like
ask
who
it.
who would be willing to kind of sacrifice, right? Like, or where can you kind of meet in the middle and like, okay, yeah, we could get married and then kind
Because
of.
look, I'm not saying like for example, I love weddings. Like the party itself. Hell
Yeah.
yeah, we could get married. Like what I was saying about marriage is just
I'm
like
not getting married
like-
for the party.
I would get married for the party. Yeah, I love the party. But to me, like a piece of paper, it doesn't.
Yeah.
She's a red flag, red flag. But like to be honest, I'm pretty flexible with
Yeah.
my everything, like with my opinions, with my. I'm always questioning myself.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm like a hard-headed guy. Like this is how I am. This is
Yeah,
what I do.
you're not
'Cause,
set in
like,
stone,
you
like-
can either be right or you can be happy. Is how I look at it.
Okay.
Like you either like right on everything or you just like okay, I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
Like you, and so I don't think that there's really gonna be that big of a conflict per se. Like you say, she wants to get married real bad. Big deal. Like,
Yeah.
Get married.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like to me, I'm very fucking chill. So probably I'll be me, the lenient one. Like to
Yeah.
be honest.
And I mean, once you guys are married, you can go travel and do all sorts of cool shit, and you guys can
Especially
go
if you
live
don't have
somewhere.
kids right after you get
Yeah.
married.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Well, that and you take a few years to travel. That's more than enough time to see everything that you want to see.
Yep. Yep.
Get married in a few years after that, or before,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. I don't think that'll.
See, for
Friction,
Alyssa and I, what
anyway.
we've talked about is, you know, because I think it's really hard, you know, like to sit here and just be like,
This is
yeah,
what's gonna
100%, this is what's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to marry you into, you know, that's really really hard because, like, shit could change.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
setting those expectations that can get
exactly,
fucked.
and that's where I kind of fucked up, right? Is like with my past relationship, that's kind of like I was like, that's what's gonna happen,
Yeah,
right? And it made it
yes.
really really hard. Versus like, if at some point we just grow apart, like, and we're just like, you know what, like we just don't vibe anymore, and that's okay,
fine,
right?
yeah, that
We want to be able to
happens.
like pull away and have it not be ugly or horrible or anything like that. And so what we've kind of talked about is like, we're just kind of like, yes, right now the plan is, yeah, we want to get married, we want to have a family, we want to have a house, we want to start, you know, do all that type of stuff. But it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say 100%, like, I'm very, very certain, she is very, very certain, like, I plan to spend the rest of my life with her. And the only way things would change is like, and it's hard to say,
Well,
you know
I think,
what I mean?
yeah, and I
Yeah.
think what can save those feelings is instead of using like this is for sure or plan, like this is like I want to. Like,
I want to.
you to
Yeah.
be my person. I want
Yes.
to get
Yeah.
married
Yes.
with you. I want to have this family with you. That has nothing to do with setting anything.
Because I really find it hard to sit here and say like 1,000% you are the person that was put on this planet
Yeah.
to like be, because again, things change. Like
Yeah.
as you mature,
change,
as you
people
find
change.
yourself, like situations change, and you know what I mean. And so it's hard to sit here and say like I found my soulmate. Like I do believe that I found the person for me 100%, but like getting attached to that feeling of like
Yeah, it creates.
this
you
is
ha-
this is
it
the person I
creates
can't
this
be with anyone
fear.
else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have
It
to.
does.
You
Yeah.
have to accept the possibilities of the universe and
everything.
that
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
can and like anything.
Anything can
A
change.
meteorite could come right now and hit us all, and we all be dead. And that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the end of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
No marriage.
Like literally, yeah. Well, that answered our question.
Yeah,
you know what I
there's-
mean?
there's
Like
that.
anything can happen at any given moment of time. So you just kind of have to understand that like anything can happen at any moment.
Yeah.
at
I
any
think that
moment in
also
time.
helped me, like, just with in general, it's like life advice is accepting the uncertainty of
Yeah.
life. Like the only thing certain in life is that life is uncertain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When
100%.
you can like get cool with that fact that not everything that you plan right now. Let's say you have goals to, I want to be a pro. That's a goal.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna go how I imagined it.
Right.
Like, for sure, I know that it's not gonna go how I'm planning it.
Right.
But either way, you have to be open because life, like, and that's kind of, I guess, what manifestation is. Like, you just gotta know what you want and work at it every day, and it's gonna come.
100%.
It's just gonna surprise you, pretty much all of the
Yeah.
time. So,
I
like,
did tell Alyssa, I was like, the second that we get married though, you're fucking knocked up. So like,
Yeah.
we better travel now. I told her that. I was like, honeymoon? Oh my God. But yeah, no, 100%. So yeah, no.
so you, how many kids would you want?
Ooh, see, I think I do want a big family. I do want a big family. I think like, And again,
like-
it's just like it's hard to like set a
Yeah,
number,
it's
but like
hard to
I do want like a big family. But here's the thing, I'm not going to start a family until I'm in like a
Yep.
fucking amazing financial position, in a position where
Yeah.
like I can give my kids the best possible life.
Yeah, where it's
Like I don't want to ever have to like skimp on anything.
Yeah.
I want to be able to be like smart and be like, no, we don't need to do that. But like if I want to take a family trip to Disney, I want to go to Disney and not have to worry about like,
I don't
ooh,
know if
gotta
we
stay at a
can.
cheap
Can we go to
hotel.
Disney?
Yeah.
Can we afford
So
it?
for
Yeah.
me, I'm like, okay, before I even think about that, before I even want to get married, I want to have a house.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
have all that stuff, and then for me,
Houses.
the marriage is kind of like the celebration of like we've gotten
Yeah.
all of our shit taken care
Yeah.
of, all the checks have been hit, so now it's just now let's celebrate.
Yeah.
That's what I want our marriage to kind of be, and you know, so it's like if that takes like 4 or 5 years, and that's why like I know that because we've talked about it, like we know that we're gonna be together, right? And so there's no pressure to be like, okay, like I gotta pop a ring sometime so she doesn't
Yeah.
like run away, right? It's just kind of like, no, like we're doing our own thing. We're going to travel because I told her
There's
too.
no rush.
I told Alyssa too. I was like, if you want to compete and you want to be an IFBB, like do it now. Like don't wait 5 years to do it. Like let's
Where that will cause
be
friction.
competitive
Yeah.
now. Like
Yeah.
hit the peak of your career. Like I want to hit my peak career and I want her to hit her peak career. And that way when it's all said and done, we could be like, okay, we've accomplished everything. Now let's start a
Now
family.
it's time to.
Yeah.
Now let's start a family. Now let's settle
Think.
down. Like we've already traveled all the places that we want to go. Now let's settle down and now let's do what we want. And then, you know, just kind of do that. So like for me, I'm scared of the ocean. So I really don't want to travel out of the country, if we're being
Traveling.
honest. I can't fly over water. I will
What scares you
shit.
about the ocean?
sharks.
I think there's
The Bermuda
scary shit than
Triangle.
sharks.
I know.
Sharks are scary as fuck,
All the
dude.
dead bodies in the ocean.
No,
Think
but,
about
like,
it. Y'all
bro,
just swimming
How many
over.
sharks have you seen in your life?
That's what it's the fact that I haven't seen that. That's the issue. The
Been
fact
there.
that this fucking plane could
No,
go
like-
down and I'm gonna be stuck in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with like,
All these
oh my
sharks.
So like
god,
that's the fear. Like
That's
you,
the fear.
You're playing
Being
crap.
stranded.
You know how many plane flights there are every day.
Okay, when you look at the statistics, but what
Yeah.
if you're the 1%?
I always say
But what
that.
if you
Yeah,
just
I'm
You
like
know
knowing
what?
me and my luck, I'd be the 1%.
That and I say like I watch too many like crime shows and shit and scary shit, but I'm like I'm like sitting on the couch. My door isn't locked. I'm about ready to go to
We always
bed.
think about that.
I'm like oh, I don't feel like locking it. I'm going to bed. And I'm like nope, because it's always the time that someone forgot to lock it or that didn't lock it that somebody breaks in and kills my ass. So
Yeah.
fuck you. I'm
Yeah.
locking the damn door. It's
100%. No, that's kind of how I am.
always
but-
that one time.
Well, awesome guys. This was a fantastic podcast. This was
a really good
this was a
podcast,
lot of
I
fun.
guess.
Yeah,
it was really cool being able to hear you guys' opinions
Yeah,
and being able to hear you
perspectives.
guys' perspectives on relationship. And I do think that we're very similar,
We are.
100%. So it's really cool, and I think it's really cool for other people to be out there because a lot of people look at us and are like, I can't believe you guys do. Like we posted something about having 2 date nights a week. People are like, how the fuck you got money for that? I'm
Like,
like,
you
bro,
don't have
date
to
night
spend money
be
to be
grilled
on a
cheeses
date.
and
Yeah,
Grey's Anatomy.
that
Like,
ass.
Sandwiches, chips,
Dead
and a movie.
ass.
Like,
Yeah, we've
that's
done like
the date.
paint nights for
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
date nights before, and I'm just like, this is
It's like it's not complicated, and again, I think it's really good and really fresh for people to like hear. Like, there's relationships out there, and I mean, in my opinion, and tell me if you guys agree. I think the one key area missing from someone having a relationship that's quite literally perfect is just communication.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's
Like
it.
you could fix you
Every-
could fix world hunger with communication.
Yeah,
Honestly.
Oh my
Like,
yeah,
God.
literally.
like literally, but like especially in a relationship, I think if it was just communicated, I like this, I don't
Yeah.
like this is what I want, this is what I
Right.
don't want, and it's just
Yes.
very clear.
Yeah.
And you know, standards are there, yes, expectations are there, yes, but it's kind of just like, if you can't be my person, that's okay. Like
Right.
I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
Like I can go somewhere else and find that person, and
Yeah.
not having this emotional attachment, not having all that stuff. So I think it's really important for people to be like, damn, it could be out there, because
Right.
I mean, literally, I was having a conversation today, and someone was like, I don't know, I don't even know, like, and I'm like,
Yeah,
quit
they're like-
looking
yeah.
for someone.
Yeah.
That person will come when you put yourself into the right environment.
And
When you
dude,
put yourself in the right circle, when you're working on yourself, you will attract the people that are also working on themselves, and you want to find someone that inspires you to be better. You don't want someone to change for you. You don't want to try and pull. You don't want to try and turn a hoe into a housewife, right?
Right,
Like that's
yeah.
you want someone that's ready and that's there, and that's the thing is a lot of people don't communicate about that. Like if you want to just be single, cool, be single. Don't waste my
Yeah,
time.
we didn't have to do all the extra. I love
100%.
you, be my girlfriend. If
Yeah.
that's what you didn't want, we didn't have to do this.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So I think what you said about communication is like, yes, 100% what makes it, but you also have to have two individuals that are sure of themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the individual has to be ready in order to be able to know what they want.
Okay, last thing then. For someone that's not sure of themselves or doesn't really know what's going on, how do they get there?
Dude,
Ask
just
yourself
do what
questions.
you want. Like, do what you actually want. Like, that has to be, like, you have to be fucking honest with yourself. Like, don't do what you think you want or what sounds good or what, like, your ego says. Like, be real with yourself. And, like, that's how you get there.
Well, and the thing too is that just in relationships too, friendships, relationships, whatever, like you have to ask those questions. You know what I mean? Then ask those questions with yourself too. Do I want to be in a relationship right now? Okay, picture yourself in a relationship, what that would look like. Picture yourself without a relationship. Which one do you like better? And then keep going from there.
Yeah,
I feel like,
what does that person you're looking for look like?
Yeah. I feel like people just are so not in tune with themselves. Even earlier when we were talking about like drinking and like knowing your limits, just know yourself like that. How you're wanting to get to know somebody else and have a relationship and love somebody else when you don't even know yourself or love yourself like you want to love somebody else. It's because you don't. That's why you're chasing it so bad.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just trying to look and look and look and look and look, and they're getting attracted to all the wrong things and people possibly just because they're trying so hard when really they just have to, again, be sure of yourself just by knowing and asking yourself those kind of questions. Like, have those hard conversations with yourself. Sit in a room for an hour with silence and be like, what do I want? And chat with yourself. You should be your best friend before you have any other best friend or boyfriend or girlfriend, you know?
Yeah, I think people don't, communicate with themselves enough. Like, actually, like, you have to get to a point where you question everything you've ever learned.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you didn't experience it, you don't know.
Yeah.
You heard.
Yeah.
So you don't know.
Yeah.
You heard somebody else's experience. And, like, you have to really question everything. And the more that you question, the more peace you're going to find. Because you're not just going to take these statements that you learn and, like, have them as truth. Make your own truth, because there is no truth. Everybody has their own perspective and their own relative life and their own experiences. So everybody, like, it's all going to be different, right? Like, we do have physics and facts, right? But of an experience, like, know your truth and like question everything and just stick with what you like. Stick with what you agree. If you don't agree, fuck it. You don't have to be religious like your parents. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can make your choices, and it's gonna bring you happiness and peace. Like, with every decision, is this gonna make me happy and peaceful, or is it gonna make me be nervous all the time, or is it gonna make me be scared? Is this, like, how big is this risk of this decision? But just ask yourself a bunch of questions. Be like, don't bullshit yourself. Tell yourself like the real answers, and then act upon those things. The biggest step is acting, and like being congruent with your thoughts and actions. But
I would also say, you know, when looking for that person and trying to find yourself, where are you looking? What circle are you looking at? Are you looking at
the club?
Are you at the club? Like, so we met at a bar, right? But like, you know, looking in the right spots. And that's why I think the gym is such a great place to meet people, because everyone at the gym has a goal.
Yeah, we're
most of the time, right?
like-minded.
They're very like-minded. They're focused. You know, they know what the fuck they're doing, right? Versus meeting someone, you know, and it gets tricky when you meet someone at work or when you meet someone at a bar or something like that. Like, go meet someone like at a park. Go meet someone like where you would
coffee shop.
Yeah, where would you picture your like where would you want to be? Like, find someone there.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. Is just finding the right circles to be in. Right.
That comes from like what I'm thinking. Like, once you get to know yourself, you're like, okay, maybe I like reading. I'm gonna go to the library, and then how do you know you're not gonna meet that person there?
Yeah.
You couldn't have gone to the library if you didn't really
100%.
put away that belief that books were blame. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to question your beliefs.
Yeah.
And make sure that they make sense with your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And like that's then you just decide, do I want a girlfriend or not? Like, do I want to be with somebody or not?
Yeah.
And that's it. Because you can be a good like person that knows what they want and not have to be in a relationship.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
also
100%.
valid. But just become that person, get to know yourself, and then choose. You know, do you want a girlfriend or not? And then they will come. Like, just be sure of yourself. If you're doubting yourself, you're done. Like, you can't doubt yourself.
100%. 100%. Awesome, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for our podcast today. We hope you guys enjoyed having our guests, Shelby and Jose, on.
Yes, so much fun.
So much fun, guys. We'll definitely have to have you guys
Good
back on
chat.
again
Yeah.
another time. I feel like there's so much more we could have talked
I
about.
know. I could keep going for hours.
Give Shelby a couple tequila shots now.
No.
But thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure.
Of course, of course.
I'm gonna go ahead and plug my IG at Jose.
Yeah,
go
go ahead.
Josue Gonzalez Fit. That's it. And then what's yours?
Shelby G. Fitness.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram. We're gonna be doing YouTube soon, but right
Yeah.
now just Instagram.
A great couple of swole
Great
mates
couple.
yeah, that you guys can look at and again get a different perspective because you guys do a lot of couple stuff on you guys' pages. So yeah, absolutely, guys. You know, and again, follow people that kind of inspire you, right? Follow people that are doing what you want to do and things like that because that way you know what you want to be like, right? That manifestation, right? That's what we were talking about. Super important. But awesome, guys. Well, yeah, that's it for us. Inaka Power, code Swolemates. What's the
So,
supplement
actually,
that you're sponsored by?
Black Magic Supply and code Josue. And then you can actually buy these joggers and the shirt, Zephyr. Code
Zephyr. Oh my God,
Ooh, yeah,
Zephyr's
Zephyr.
nice. She
Those
likes
cargos,
Zephyr.
I actually wear those cargos. They're
They
fire.
have women's cargos too.
They're
Don't they?
yeah, they're
They're coming out,
They're
aren't
coming
they?
out with. I mean,
Yeah.
right now it's just basically the same cargos, but they're nice. They're really fitted. but
Zephyr,
they're coming out
yeah.
with the Zephyr for
Zephyr's
sure.
awesome. When I wear
The
it, like,
quality is
you can't take your hands off me.
Oh my gosh.
No, yeah,
It's
very
dangerous.
clean. It is very dangerous.
Awesome, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and tell us what you guys think. Right?
Yes.
Tell us what you guys think. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.